Today we're going to be talking about three styles. Art Nouveau, which was from 1890 to 1910 and was mainly in Europe and in the United States. This then led into the arts and crafts movement, or also known as the craftsman style, and that was from 1905 to 1929. And the craftsman style then led into the organic modern style, which we also consider the Frank Lloyd Wright style, and that was from 1908 and basically still continues today. So first let's talk about Art Nouveau. Art Nouveau is a decorative and architectural style that flourished primarily in Europe and the US. It actually means new art in French, and it was the leader in breaking from the historical art and architecture and is considered an important transition from the historical neoclassic periods into the modern style. The style developed as part of the rebellion against the industrial age and its mass production of design products. There was a conscious effort to break from the mold, to borrow nothing from the past. Art Nouveau first developed in France and later was greatly influenced by the popular arts and crafts movement in England. Architects and designers emphasized simplicity and precision, but the function of the design came to seem more important. After 1910, Art Nouveau appeared old-fashioned and limited. It was only as a distinct decorative style. Not until 50 years later has it been rediscovered. The best-known architect from this time was Charles Rene Mackintosh, Louis Sullivan, and Antonio Gaudi. Art Nouveau artists and designers were influenced by nature's foliage, colors, forms, and lines. Many of them shared the goals of returning to simplicity and implementing nature into design. All furniture and interior textiles were handmade. The idea of unity in design played an important role as the 20th century proceeded. Art Nouveau style contributed to the arts and crafts movement as well as to the organic modern style. Here we can see the use of the three main contributors. Antonio Gaudi implementing the curved lines throughout his architecture and furniture design, as well as creating almost a natural looking feel with the castle, and it almost looks like tree roots extending below the surface. And over on the right hand side we see Louis Sullivan's architectural embellishments through his design details on the front facades of his architecture, as well as his incorporation of linear and horizontal lines in his structures. And he's now starting to incorporate slightly exaggerated overhangs in his buildings. And on the bottom we can see Charles Mackintosh, his incorporation of very linear and perpendicular lines through his furniture and his architecture. Art Nouveau style was expressed in warm afternoon hues and deep rich colors. Also, you can think of colors of natural elements like the sunsets or fields of grass. Typical motifs that were characterized during this style were things with long flowing lines and wave-like contours. Intricate designs were common, and nature was the source of inspiration, as seen in vines, ocean waves, peacock tails, plant stems and tendrils, flowers, seed pods, waving grass, and snakes. The female form was commonly seen also, slender and posed with long flowing hair. Women could be pictured as nymphs and appearing melancholy. Through women, artists often personified ideas such as faith, trust, and progress, and many women were posed wearing Celtic dresses, even though Celtic was a historic time period, but this was supposed to be seen as a modern style. patterning of wood furniture appeared as cutouts, wood burnings, marquetry, and stenciling. The furniture would be built out of mahogany, walnut, and rosewood, and of lighter woods like pear, teak, ash, maple, as well as metals, mothers of pearl, tortoiseshell, horns, and ivory to be inlaid in a harder wood. Art Nouveau furniture was well constructed and functional, but decoration was important. A curvilinear swing was seen in chair legs and backs. Mackintosh's furniture emphasized perpendicularity, and Henry van de Velde's furniture expressed his philosophy of representing nature and organic forms in abstract. Beds had headboards and footboards that were sculpted or had marquetry panels, usually depicting nature scenes or animals. Now moving on to the arts and crafts movement, also known as the craftsman style. The arts and crafts movement was from 1905 to 1929 and was the rejection of the assembly-lined goods resulting from the more is better Victorian philosophy. The craftsman style house, what we call a bungalow, was designed by brothers and architects Charles and Henry Green, whose work was particularly influenced by the traditional Japanese home in all form, material, and construction. Gustav Stickley was another proponent of the movement, and his mission-style furniture was a good fit with the structurally exposed, wood-framed craftsman interiors. Bungalow homes included details such as stained glass or large glass panels set within mullion frames to create geometric and linear facades. The Industrial Revolution had turned the craftsman to just a cog on a wheel of machinery. The aim of the arts and crafts reformers was to reestablish harmony among architects, designers, and craftsmen, and to bring hand craftsmanship to the production of well-designed, affordable, everyday objects. Through the influence of designer-philosopher William Morris and John Ruskin, 4 principles forged the movement. The 4 principles that forged the movement were design unity, joy in labor, individualism, and regionalism. The geometric and linear design of arts and crafts furniture reflected the basic concept of unity. The use of built-in furniture expressed the ideas of simplification and integration. This also gave the designers greater control over what the homeowner could incorporate and disturb their design. Here we can see some of the mission designs by Gustav Stickley. Arts and crafts beds were primarily those designed by Gustav Stickley, and his lines were very straight and simple. And finally, let's talk about the organic modern style, also known as the Frank Lloyd Wright style. The organic modern style dates from 1908 to present, and Frank Lloyd Wright lived from 1867 to 1959 and is considered the founder of this style. He is considered having the longest career in architectural history. He was also an industrial designer and interior designer. His style is known as organic architecture due to his natural forms and material use. Frank Lloyd Wright was first influenced by Louis Sullivan. Louis Sullivan lived from 1856 to 1924. Sullivan and Dankmar Adler were the first to really use steel frame construction and create high-quality skyscrapers in Chicago. Relying on the classical division of the facade into the base, giving it an intense decorative treatment. The middle was used to emphasize either the verticality of the composition, as in the Wainwright Building, or its horizontality, as in the Carson Peary Scott department store. The top was where Sullivan's ideas of organic ornament really triumphed. From its roots at the base, the vegetal ornamentation twined up the slender piers, blooming around the window of the cornice, which you could see in the previous slide. Frank Lloyd Wright was also heavily influenced by the art and architecture of Japan, which became a large portion of his philosophic foundation. He turned to nature to develop his unique style. He was influenced by the Aztec Indian culture of Mexico as well, and was intrigued with their stacked cliffed homes and large temples. Wright was also inspired by the arts and crafts movement, as he emphasized nature as his primary inspiration. He rebelled against excessive ornamentation, incorporated muted tones, and was determined to use fine craftsmanship in his works. He felt that a home should seem to grow out of the landscape, and that the landscape should be integrated into the interior as well. With this reasoning, he created with the earth and landscape, not just over it, but integrating the site into his floor plan. A dominant feature was his strong sense of horizontal line, often seen in his early and successful prairie architecture. Wright did take advantage of new technology in reinforced concrete, adding glass, and modern building techniques, although he did not alter the natural state of materials used to construct his buildings. Wright created a pattern of homes for modest income families that he dubbed the Usonian communities. They were typically one-story, modest dwellings without a garage or much storage. They were often L-shaped to fit around a garden area and constructed with environmentally conscious materials. Usonian homes had flat roofs and large cantilevered overhangs for solar heating and natural cooling. Natural lighting was brought in with clerestory windows and heating through radiant flooring. His trademark was a connection from the outside to the inside, and Frank Lloyd Wright was actually the first to coin the term carport, which is used to describe the overhang for a vehicle to park under. Wright incorporated his custom-designed furniture, which were generally simple and fluid. He insisted that furniture be consistent in design, construction, and style as an extension of the building or home being furnished. For this reason, he designed all the furniture and upholstery for his buildings. All of his furniture embodies the same idea of natural design as his houses. He also loved stained and leaded glass. It fit his belief that ornament should either take architecture to a higher plane of expression or be left out. He felt his stained glass did just that. He believed his glass took his design to a new level, becoming living architectural artistry with the changing light of day passing through the interior. Here you can see several examples of his style of furniture matching with the existing interior. Wright stopped practicing briefly from 1914 to 1936, and upon his return had to resettle with the likes of modernists such as Mies van der Rohe. The most famous adaptation was his building of Falling Water, and this is the epitome of his organic architecture, which he stresses integrating nature with architecture. And that concludes our presentation on Art Nouveau, the Craftsman style, and Organic Modern. Next time we'll be talking about Art Deco and the modern style.